Hi friends, welcome back to the Know the Game podcast. This is a very special episode because this is the first time we are reaching out to our audience in English, and so far all the podcasts and all my content has been mostly in Hindi, where I've tried to reach out to the Hindi speaking audience, but this is the first time I want to reach out to a larger audience, only because of the fact that a lot of friends have told me that why don't you try to create content in English as well, where a lot of non-Hindi speaking people can relate to the content and probably benefit from it as well. So today's episode is very clearly about the basic essence of this podcast, which is about your career. What we are trying to discuss today and just trying to go through step by step in terms of what exactly is a career. We are also trying to figure out from a career point of view how to find that career in the first place. What is the meaning of career and how to find that meaning in your career. Now, this is a very cliched topic. A lot of people have spoken a lot of things about it. But in my opinion, I want to simplify things and give it to you in terms of as it is. And if you talk about career is nothing but when opportunity meets readiness. Whose readiness? Your readiness. Whose opportunity? The opportunity outside, in the outside world, in the environment around you. And this opportunity has to be identified when you are choosing a career in the beginning of your career, or even in the middle, or even at the far end of your career. If you find that the opportunity is elsewhere, then don't hesitate in changing your career and direction of your career towards that particular opportunity. So the first point that I would again make is that try to find a career stream where the opportunities are endless, or much more than any stream where the opportunities are less. What it also means is that your opportunity is also a function of how the economy is growing, how what the world is moving towards. So for example, if you ask me 2024 what is the biggest opportunity, I would say AI. What is the second biggest opportunity? Probably biotech. What is the third biggest opportunity? Probably software related, some database or ERP related something. So there are so many opportunities which are on a high tide right now. But at the same time, there are a lot of opportunities which are dying fields. They may be exciting, they might be interesting to you, but the first starting point has to be opportunity. The second part, the second side, the other side of the coin is the readiness. Now, this readiness has to be about your readiness. And when I say readiness, it's about your ambition to be ready for it. So let's say, how ready are you? How willing are you to become that particular person in that particular career is what it's all about. So ultimately, when the opportunity shows up in the direction that you're walking, and depending on whether you are ready to grab that opportunity or not, is how the careers are formed. And if you see from your first job to your second job to your third job to your fourth and your last jobs, everything is about that opportunity and the readiness to meet that opportunity. Let me also give you an example about, let's recall, you remember the movie Slumdog Millionaire. In that movie, the person is answering all these questions, and all these questions, for every question, when he's answering the question, the answer is coming from a particular aspect of his life, a particular incident or a particular memory or a particular something that has happened in the past. That is giving him some sort of he's a collection of all those memories, and one of those memory is actually helping him answer that question. That's exactly how your career is. So no matter whether you are XYZ or whatever you have done in your life up till that moment, every single thing that you have done will contribute to your readiness for the opportunity that shows up. I'll give you another example in very simple terms. So I did a graduation in computer applications way back in the early 2000s. And then I moved my entire career into HR. So when the opportunity presented itself in all these organizations where some sort of a ERP related or some database related things had to be done, I was somewhere mentally ready for that kind of an opportunity, because that opportunity I had already got some exposure from my computer applications course. So imagine that course 10 years ago, 12 years ago is helping me do things which I was doing, say, 8 to 10 years ago. So whatever you do, whatever you learn makes you a very unique combination of all those skills and all those experiences and all those learnings that you have gathered over a period of time. And that uniqueness is what determines whether you are ready for it or not. So I think what the best thing you should be probably also looking at is to learn as much in as diverse fields, and as at the same time decide on some specializations that should give you that readiness to meet the opportunity that is about to come. So how do we know whether we are ready for that opportunity or not, or how do we prepare ourselves for these kind of opportunities. I think one of the things that we all miss to do, and a lot of us also do not even realize that we are not doing that, is being self aware. Now, that particular person, going back to the same example about Slumdog Millionaire, that same person had got so many experiences in his past, but at that moment when he was sitting in the hot seat and answering questions of KBC, he was able to recollect and recall all those memories. He was so self aware that these are all the things which have happened in the past. And if he was not able to recall those memories, he would probably not be able to answer the questions. And which is what you also should be doing. We all should be doing that. We should be self aware about who you are, what you're doing, what do you want, and where are you going and why you're going. So all these are so many questions, right? Now all these questions can be answered in a very simple sense also, but then you can probably ask your friends or family to answer these questions for you. But the best part would be if you just sit down, probably once in a week, give yourself 15-20 minutes, half an hour of time, and just try to figure things out in terms of that thought process of who you are as a person, in terms of what you're doing, where you're going, where you're headed towards. And then I think over a period of time, say around couple of months, 3 months, 4 months, it can vary for everyone, and then you will reach a point where you will realize that okay, this is just me and my assimilation of all my memories. And that's how your self-awareness will lead to you understanding what you exactly want to do. So when you are on the quest to find meaning in your career, I think the meaning cannot be found outside. Outside is just the environment, but all the meaning, all the questions, all the queries can be answered from within. Deep down, you know what you have to do. Deep down, you have a consciousness which can guide you towards the right path, which is a path which will take you to the correct place also, your destiny also, and to your destination also. Of course, you would have gone through a lot of happiness and a lot of good times in your life, but at the same time, there would have been many failures in your life. I remember one of our mentors in my earlier jobs. He used to always say that you may have probably 2 or maximum 3 great days in your entire career. Just maybe 3 or maximum 3 you will have, in terms of the bestest of the days, or that those kind of days where you will feel that I've really made it and I've really arrived and I've already done what I wanted to do. But apart from those 3-4 days in your career, every single day is going to be a struggle. Now, I'm not saying that it will not be a happy struggle. It will be a struggle that you would probably look forward to. It would be a struggle that you are blessed to be able to do. But at the same time, expecting the career to have so many wow moments would only lead to disappointment for us. And this disappointment actually kind of puts us down. And instead of getting ourselves put down, it's better to look forward to those 3 or 4 days in your career where you will really feel so much of euphoria around you that you will actually say to yourself that yes, I've made it, yes, I've done it. So in that sense also, if you have to face so many failures across your career, doesn't it make sense that you be prepared for all those failures? Now, how do you prepare for failures? Simple, you make yourself stronger, right? So I'm not saying something that you've probably not heard before, but I'm just packaging it in such a way that probably you will understand that. I'm just trying to urge you that you have to make yourself stronger from within, and this internal strength is what shapes your external behavior, and your external behavior is ultimately what your readiness is for the opportunity that's going to show up. So in essence, if you have to understand and if you have to find that meaning in your career, start with discovering yourself as a person. Start with discovering and identifying yourself as a soul. Start with understanding your deepest and most compelling desires, which you are trying to fulfill externally through your career, your environment, and all the jobs and all the things that you're doing is ultimately helping you achieve that satisfaction in terms of what you really want to do. So, in a nutshell, find that meaning in your career in the most simplest of the terms. Try to just introspect as much as possible internally. As I always say, that all the questions that you have in your mind are only arising as questions because somewhere in your mind the answers are also lying. All you have to do is within your mind itself, let those questions find those answers, and once those questions are answered, you would have a clear path in terms of your action as to what you want to do. As for this podcast, we are about knowing the game, and as I always say, if you know the game, you'll play it well. One thing you could also look at is figuring out what is enough for you. How much is enough? How much money? How much status? What kind of relationship? What is it that is enough for you, and what your soul will be completely satisfied? What is it that will make you completely, in terms of your life, in terms of your behavior, in terms of your emotion, and overall from a career point of view? What is it that will make you satisfied, and so satisfied that you would not have the desire to do more? Now, if you think of it hypothetically, it's a situation where you and I, or anybody else also, for them to reach that situation or conclusion that, okay, this much is enough for me, this is what will be, I think that is just the starting point for your career. It's not the end point, but the starting point. Because if you can figure out how much is enough, when you reach there, you will realize that it's not enough. You would want to do more, you would want to look at it, but then that enough should be where your guiding point should be. There you should be driven by that particular sign, that particular guiding light. So that particular guiding light, if you know that particular destination, or when you say that what is enough, how much is enough, or what could probably be there, first of all you have to figure out, is there someone who can actually take me there, that destination? How do I reach there? How does that destination become a reality for me? Because clearly, if you're thinking about something that would be enough for today, clearly you don't have it today, and you're thinking about reaching that point in future. And if you're trying to reach there, first of all figure out and try to think that, is there somebody who can actually take you there to that particular point? If you find somebody, then just reach out to that person and tell that person that you are looking forward to reaching there, and you just need help in reaching there with them. And as I said, most probably you don't know the way to reach there, and that's where you have to figure out, how do I get there? What will take you there? Will it be education, experience, network, luck? Any of these factors can actually let you reach that point of what's enough for you, what's your destination, what's the insane amount of money. When you're trying to figure that out, you would also need to see, what drives me? Is it time that drives me? Is it responsibility? Is love a driving force in your part? Does emotions drive you? You have to start figuring out all these factors. So if you see from the start till now, so many factors are there which are just affecting your everyday behavior, your short term and your long term behavior, and how you are perceiving your goals, how you're perceiving your career in totality. These factors are, just like you must have seen a DJ's console, right? Your career and your life is something like that only, right? So you can keep on tuning things here and there, and ultimately you have to see whether the music is coming out in the right proportion or not. You don't know the drop yet, you don't know where the music will end, but you have something vaguely in your mind that, okay, this is the tune that I need to keep on playing, and at some point of time, maybe a couple of minutes later, this particular show will come to an end, and this is where my crowd should be the happiest, and my audience should be the happiest at that point of time. So in your life and your career also the same thing. So another thing that I also just mentioned is that, what is it that's driving you? Is it your time? So when I say time, it's a concept about and how you perceive your time. Your time is nothing but of course the clock, and as many hours you have. But from where I see it, time is also the amount of free time that you have. So while you have to do a certain number of tasks in a day, you have to get up, you have to get ready, you have to eat, you have to sleep, all those are your regular biological tasks that have to be done. But apart from that, whatever is your leftover time from doing, after doing all these things, is the time that you have, and your perception about time is about that specific time only. So whether that particular time is driving you to achieve something. So in simple terms, you may also be thinking that, okay, I have limited time in the next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and how do I want to utilize it better? So is it that, since time is running out, you're trying to do something good in your career, or you're trying to achieve greatness in your career because time is running out? Or is there another driver? Let's say, for example, responsibility. So if you have a family to support, you have a wife, or you have a husband, or you have kids, or probably parents, somebody that you want to support from your side, is that a driving force behind your aggression and your pursuit of this career, or is it something like very simple, like is it emotions? Like a lot of people want to just achieve things for the sake of achieving things. It's nothing but emotion, right? And for a lot of people, one of the things that drives them is love. So a lot of people want to do things because they genuinely love the thing that they do. So for example, all the people who are in the medical profession, I know a lot of people who are just doing who are in that profession just for the love, the sheer love they have for their towards their profession. And I think that love, if that is the driving force, then whatever is your driving force out of all these things, what you do to your driving force is just put that driving force in the driver's spot and ask that driving force to take you to your destination. So whatever rocks your boat, you should probably just ask, you should just focus on that particular thing. In other words, I'm also saying that, you should look at where do you get your strength from, and where do you get your emotional and motivation from, and you let that motivation be the burning light in your life and just keep on running towards that. And I think with this self awareness and this guidance and this motivation to do something, probably you'll reach somewhere where it is your destination, but then your destination would also keep on changing based on where you're headed. So again, the same point comes in where, your is your journey more important or the destination? See, without a destination, there can be no journey. So I would strongly urge all of you to figure out what your destination is. And at the same time, while you're reaching that destination, enjoy the journey. There are a lot of things you can do to improve the state and the quality of your journey. One of the things is that knowing that game as to, what will make you better at it. And that knowing the game is what this podcast is all about. Remember, if you know the game, you'll play it well.